Belfast sits in a unique place in the Titanic story in that she was here longer than anywhere else. She was only on the world scene for 13 days. She was here for nearly 3 years. We have a wonderful, untold story to tell, and this is the beginning of it.
Hi guys, welcome to another Greg GNP video here on YouTube, and today I am in the Titanic Quarter in Belfast. And we're going to take a walk around and have a look at what there is to see here. So there's quite a few people here today. We just need to figure out exactly where we're going. So let's have a look around first of all.
Hi there, folks. Keep that out, you're going to scan that upstairs.
Titanic Quarter is this portion of the shipyard where Titanic was conceived, designed, built, launched and ultimately set sail from.
Distinguished American financier John Pierpont Morgan through his shipping firm, the International Mercantile Marine Company. In our final shipyard by our most skilled craftsmen, ambassadors for the Empire, British ships were not in very songs that have some fair one. What's so special about the ship ships then?
My car got me my start, then my brothers after me. You could hear the noise from where we lived, but nothing prepared you for the size of the place. They put me to work on 401. That's what we called her. We knew she'd be the largest passenger ship in the world, but we didn't call her Titanic then.
I was there from the beginning. I watched the ship race lay the keel blocks. They set big wooden blocks on the slipway to start with, then the keel at top of it, like a backbone, and the frames attached to that, like a skeleton.
Workshops everywhere. It took weeks to find your way around. There'd be workshops for every trade you ever heard of. Painters, sailmakers, coppersmiths, boiler makers, cabinet makers. I even learned a bit about French polishing off them.
Harlowworth is a fine place to work, but dangerous. Every ship cost a life, and there'd be lots of injuries besides.
I was in the engine works for a while. Very well equipped it was. That's where we built the triple expansion engines. 2 of them, each as high as a 3-story house.
I worked in the frame bending shop. You had heat steel beams in the furnace, then hook them onto slabs of cast iron and hammer them curved. It was skilled work. You had to bend them more than you needed because the frame straightened out a little when it cooled.
The shell plates that made up the hull weighed up to 4.5 tons. They were taller than my dad.
The plates were overlapped on the edges. Some were raised, one after another. We called it clincher. One of the foremen told me years ago, that's how you built these ships.
I worked as a heater boy. You had to heat the rivets on a wee plate. You pump the bellows till the rivet was white hot. Then you get a hold of it with your tongs and throw it up to the catcher. And he put it in the hole in the plate with the holder up. There were 2 of us on the other side of the plate with the holder up. We had to hammer the rivet so it filled the hole before it turned dull red. The double bottom. That's a wee space we called the tanks, made up of steel plates. The rest of the rivet squad all had to fit into that gap. One of the 4 men would check each rivet with a special hammer. If it made a ringing sound, we'd have to get back and chase it out after work. I'd get scared working down in that double bottom. You only had candles for light. And the constant hammering against the shell plates. You could hear it all over Belfast. Some of those boys ended up stone deaf, so they did. We were paid 31 bob a week. The heater boy and catcher got 16 bob. But we all worked the same 54 hours.
The upper deck was steel too, and part of the strength of the ship. There's no straight lines on a ship, and when you look down the weather deck, you can see the shear of the hull, but stopped her flexion at sea.
The stern frame had to be strong enough to take the rudder turning in heavy seas. You'd have all these timbers and guy wires to steady the frame, and men scurrying around like ants underneath.
When we came to launch day, I was torn between pride and fear. Stanley ways were pouring coal, train oil and soft soap. So the ship would slide when they shifted her weight off the blocks. That was the most dangerous part. When the shipwrights were knocking away the last props, they were under compression, you see, and the sliding ways would be released by the hydraulic trigger.
This was the beating heart of the shipyard, and it is a very special room. It was here in this room that the plans of Titanic went from ideas in the head to drawings on paper, and outside the window in the back, those plans were created into the biggest man-made moving object in the world.
This dry dock is the last place that Titanic rested on dry ground, and also known as Titanic's physical footprint in history. And it's from this very dry dock that Titanic left for her maiden voyage back in April of 1912. We feel we've got a lot to show people today, not only with our beautiful drawing offices, and of course the pump house, which now houses a new visitor centre and cafe. We're running tours nearly every day, and it's a real new spectacle, of course, for Belfast, and we're very proud of our shipbuilding past and of course the Titanic.
April 10th, right on time, fully expecting to be in New York in a few days. Titanic sounded her whistle, cast off our lines. Titanic's launch in May 1911 was watched by an estimated 100,000 people.
Come and see what we have. Come and see the unique Titanic story that we want to share with you.